We all want to make more sales, right? I mean, that's like why we're in business. So if you're in business and you want to make your sales, like pretty much anybody who is in business, you want to increase those sales, there's a couple of different ways you can do this. We covered this in detail in my needle moving tactics video, so I will leave that link down below. But as kind of a recap, there's 3 main ways that you can make more sales in your business. And these are in no particular order, by the way. But number 1 is that you can increase your conversion rate. So that means that you have more of the people who are already landing on your product are actually purchasing that. If that is kind of you and you think that that would be a great thing to do, then you can check out my video all about previews. We talked in detail about descriptions and previews, and those things are really going to help you with increasing your conversion rate, making sure that people know what they're getting, and just being really clear about the value and why they need to purchase it. The second way that you can do this and create more revenue for yourself is to create more products. So logically, if you have more products, then you have more potential sales, especially on a website like Teachers Pay Teachers or other websites like Etsy or Amazon, because people are searching on these websites. So on Teachers Pay Teachers, people are searching for different things. And so if I have more products, I have more chances to be found. I see this a lot in my business. I have a lot of products that sell just maybe a couple a month, but they sell a couple a month every month. And that's because people are searching for them. They're searching for, how do I teach meter to my students? Or how do I teach treble clef to my students? Or what are fun like winter activities? And they're looking for stuff like that. And so someone who's looking for winter treble clef activities is not the same person who's looking for summer meter activities. So just in the sheer having people needing different things, having more products can increase your revenue. And by the way, I do teach music. If you were like, I don't know what any of those words mean, it's okay. Third way that you can increase your sales, you can make more sales, is to increase your traffic. So that's what we're gonna talk about today in this video, is different ways to increase your traffic. So this is especially great if you have products that are selling well, like their conversion rate is really high. That means a lot of the people who are landing on the product are actually purchasing that, but you still would like to get more sales out of it. If you drive traffic in and the conversion rate stays about the same, then you should be able to increase your sales. So like hypothetically, in a magical place, if you had the same conversion rate and you send twice as many people over there, then you would make twice as many sales. Now, obviously, different things are going to come into the play, so that's not like a magical equation, but that is the very idea, is that if you drive more traffic and the conversion rate stays the same, then you should be able to get more money out in the end. So today we're going to talk about 4 different ways that you can drive more traffic to your TPT store, and I will have all of the times linked down below so that if you want to like skip ahead, I feel ya, time is valuable, so you can check those out and just skip to the different parts that you would like to learn about. We are going to talk about different ways that you can increase traffic, and not just like in the short term, like not just this week, but increase traffic over the long term, so that as your business grows, your business will continue to grow, and as time goes on, your business will continue to make more money overall, which is what we all want. You know, people are like, you're not supposed to care about the money, but if you're in business, you care about the money, and that's okay. Anyway, I feel like I kind of need a coffee for this. I just feel like it's kind of chit-chatty. Also, it is like 50,000 degrees here in my office, even though it's only April. So I will be right back. Well, it's definitely strong. That'll do the kick. I wanted to have a straw, but I felt like that wasn't very professional. All right, friends, so we have 4 different ways that you can increase your traffic to your TPT store, to your resources, in order to then sell more resources and make more money. And we're just gonna hop right on in. We're gonna start with my favorite one. This is content. So that might sound kind of like big and open-ended and maybe even a little bit scary. It's okay, it's okay. But it's really not. Content just means really specifically long-form content, by the way. Long-form content means that you are either blogging, or you have a YouTube channel, or that you have a podcast. Those 3 are kind of like the big long-form content wheelhouses. I don't know. They're the big long-form content things that you can have in order to increase your traffic and just everything. So the way that these work is that they typically get traffic to them organically through SEO or through search, and that allows you to then have people read your blog or read your YouTube and then know that you exist, know that your business exists, and knows that your products exist. This is huge, especially if you have those products that maybe aren't selling well, even though you know that they're amazing. A lot of times it's just because people don't know they exist. I have this in my own business. I recently posted some digital board games for solfege, which is like how high or how low melodies are basically. And so they're super cool. I am so excited about them. But even as I was posting them, I knew that people were gonna have a hard time understanding them, because you're like, digital board game, like what is that? And you may not realize like, oh, hey, this teaches these concepts and this is really great and it really engages the kids and all that stuff. So ever since I posted it, I have made sure that I talk about it in my YouTube channel. I already have plans to have a blog post about it. Not quite yet, but it's coming, it's coming. And I have made an extra effort to make sure that I talk about it in like YouTube videos again, so that people know that it exists, because once you hear it and you know what it is, then it's like, oh my gosh, that is so cool. Because y'all, my second graders loved it. It was magical. We're about to do it again tomorrow. I'm so excited. It's gonna be so great. They're gonna love it. It's gonna be a great time, great time. So it is super helpful to have these things so that they can know either about individual products or about actual products. Now, how you get traffic to these places is another thing, because you have to get traffic to your YouTube videos or to your blog posts. And the main way that you can do that is through SEO. Now I have a whole video about SEO and talking all about that, but basically the concept of SEO is that you write your blog posts or create your YouTube videos so that search engines know what you're talking about, so that it can connect you with your potential viewers, aka your potential buyers. So if you have a blog post and you're writing a blog post, actually I have a blog post, it's about Hispanic heritage music ideas, Hispanic Heritage Month music activity ideas, yeah, music lessons, whatever. And so it is written for that, and so the title talks about Hispanic Heritage music lessons, and in the actual text I talk about Hispanic Heritage Month, and I talk about other kind of similar things. We talk about, you know, Hispanic music, and we talk about all the different countries and stuff like that. And so in that, I'm able to then help Google know, hey, this post is about Hispanic heritage music lesson ideas. And I've actually had a teacher in my school find it because she was searching Hispanic heritage music or something along those lines. And so she found it like organically, and that is one of the best ways you can get found. So content helps people to find your resources because they might find you that way. It also helps them to just find you, and finding you is really helpful because once they come in contact with you and with your brand and with your content, they're a lot more likely to purchase. Even if they find you on, you know, happenstance on TPT, they just happen to come across your resource and they're like, hey, that's that person that I read something by. They must know something because they already gave me ideas, you know, maybe I used them and they worked. And so I am now able to trust them a little bit more. So not only is it increasing your traffic to your store from the actual blog posts, from your YouTube videos, that kind of stuff, but it is also helping to increase your conversions, essentially, because people are starting to trust you. They're starting to know who you are. And if your blog posts talk about a resource, or your YouTube videos talk about your resource, they're more likely to purchase. Especially if they're gonna click the link to go over there, they're a lot more likely to purchase because they already understand it a little bit. So it also kind of helps your conversion rates. It's magical. This is why I love content so much. Not only does it help bring new audience members and new buyers, but it also increases your traffic and it increases your conversion rate, and it is just so good. Looking here at my laptop, I just pulled up my traffic dashboard from Teachers Pay Teachers, and I searched the month of March because it's currently April, so March is the full month that I can see. And in just the month of March, my YouTube channel made me about $400 just for my YouTube channel. That's $400 that I would not have made if I hadn't made those videos. And that's not even counting any kind of indirect traffic, or if someone saw a video and then they went home and then they went to school and they purchased it at school instead of buying it at home, or vice versa. $400 that people purchased just because of YouTube videos. That is traffic going into your store, and creating more money, basically, is what it boils down to. Also, I'd like to say that my YouTube channel right now, only for Becca's Music Room, only has about 800 subscribers. So it's not even monetized on YouTube because you can't get the ads until you hit 1,000, but I'm already making more than this channel makes in ads in just a month on my products, which is amazing. My blog has also made me quite a bit of money. In the month of March 2021, I made $633.11 just from people clicking on links from my blog and going to Teachers Pay Teachers and purchasing. Again, not including any kind of indirect traffic, just from click the link, purchase immediately. And my final tally for YouTube is $418.44. That's almost $1,000 that I made in March that I would not have made if I didn't have these two traffic sources. In fact, if you look just at my normal traffic sources for the month of March, Teachers Pay Teachers was my top one. Becca's Music Room was number 2. Also bear in mind that I usually use UTM links now. I used to not do that, but now I use UTM links, which means that each individual blog post and each individual video typically has its own link. So that $242 is not correct, because if you come down to my next page, you can see that I made $43 off of just one blog post about movement in 2nd and 3rd grade. So do be aware of that. If it looks kind of funny up on your screen, that's why. But again, that's $1,000 that I wouldn't have made if I didn't have these traffic sources. So make sure that you've got those traffic, friends. Especially in the long term, content is going to be your best bet for creating traffic and building an audience and doing all of the things that you need in order to have a successful business. So that is one place I highly, highly, highly recommend that you invest a good bit of time into so that you will be able to have a long, sustainable business. If you are interested in getting started with that, I do have a free email course for both YouTube and blogging if you want to get started with one of those. So you can click the links down below for getting started with blogging or getting started with YouTube, whichever is more your style. So that will like walk you through literally everything you need to know to get started, and you'll be on the right track. Our number 2 traffic source is going to be Pinterest. Pinterest is something that's a little bit weird. A lot of people say it's a social media. It's not a social media. Pinterest is basically a visual search engine. It's like Google, but just for pictures, and also it's magical. So Pinterest is an excellent place to get traffic to your TPT store by creating pins and putting them on Pinterest. I do have a whole video about how to make pins and also like how to get Pinterest get up and running and started and all that kind of stuff. So I'll link those down below. But the gist of it is that you want to create a Pinterest account, obviously, and you create a pin. So a pin is an image. You want to do a vertical image and link it to your TPT shop. Now you can also do video pins, which are doing really well at the moment. And if you have access to story pins, use them. They're amazing. So all of these things will help to get traffic to your store. Now I am going to give you the caveat of Pinterest is going through some changes right now, and so a lot of the research, if you're looking at like how to work Pinterest, I would highly recommend that you make sure that anything you read is recent, because they are like making huge shift over the last like 2 years. So first of all, if you're frustrated with Pinterest, chill out. It's okay, it's gonna be fine. And secondly, if you've never tried Pinterest before, make sure that what you're reading is relevant and current, because they've changed a lot recently. So for example, they now have something called story pins. Not everyone has access as of me filming this video, but it will be rolling out soon. And story pins don't have links to websites, but they are really, really good at driving more impressions and having people see your stuff. Normal pins like a picture or a video pin, both of those you will be able to insert a link to Teachers Pay Teachers. You can have it go straight to your store so people can be like, oh hey, that's a cool product, and then link it to that product. I will say make sure that you link it to the product and not just to your store, because as your store grows and you have more and more products, if people click and then they can't find the product, they're gonna get really frustrated. So just make sure it goes to the actual resource link. Pinterest can be such a big driver of traffic, so I highly recommend that you look into that. Although it doesn't show up really highly on my dashboard, I will say most of my blog traffic comes from Pinterest. So it kind of indirectly has a lot to do with that $600 that my blog made me last month. Number 3 is something that probably popped high up in your brain when I said traffic, and that is social media. So social media is a beast into itself, but it can be a good way to drive traffic to your business. On social media, whether you decide to go with Twitter or Instagram or Facebook or whatever, TikTok, or are there other ones? I don't even know. Whatever social media you choose can help to drive traffic to your TBT store. It's kind of the same thing as the blog, but on like a micro level, because you can show the behind the scenes of your product. You can explain your product. You can post videos and captions and pictures talking about your product and helping people see the value in it. Now, I want to give a little time out and repeat that. I said, help people see the value in it. Sometimes people have resources they're either marketing or they're writing descriptions for, and they focus a lot on the attributes, which is good, but they don't talk about like the value and what people are getting out of it. Remember that each of your resources should create a transformation in the students. Whether that means that the kids are engaged, or it means that they're occupied for 5 minutes, or it means that it's going to teach them how to write in cursive, or it's going to, you know, teach them the specific standard. Make sure that you communicate that fully in your description and in any of your marketing, because people are really not paying you for your worksheets. They're paying you for the outcome your worksheets gives them and their students. So make sure you communicate that value. If you can come at it with, you know, oh, do you need your students to be more engaged during math centers? Then people are gonna be much more likely to read your caption or to buy your product, because they'll be more interested than if you're like, hey, here's this product. It's got lots of pages. No one cares. So social media can help you to drive traffic to your products, because again, showing the behind the scenes, you can explain it in more detail, which will also help with that conversion rate. It also, again, helps people to know you. So if someone knows you from Instagram or from TikTok, and then they go on TPT and they search for something and they see you pop up, they're gonna be like, oh, hey, they did that really cool thing, and I don't even have an example, but they had that really cool video that taught me whatever, and so now I'm gonna purchase their product because I trust them a little bit more than I trust other people. So that's gonna help with both like direct traffic, like I clicked here, and also indirect traffic, like they just happen to find you, but they've already heard of you. Let's move that out of the frame. Good job, Becca. Now, social media does take its own kind of set of skills. So I do recommend that you like look into how to grow on social media so that you can do that. But what I want you to remember about social media is that it is social, which means that you need to talk to people, which if you're an introvert like me, really stinks, because I like the blog where I can just post things and then I'm done. And so that is really more my style. But on social media, you really want to make sure that you are interacting and engaging with people, both in your audience and not in your audience. So don't wait for someone to like comment on your photo. Go and find other people and go comment on their photos. Go find people and watch their stories and reply to them. And do those things so that people are just more aware of you. First of all, they may not know who you are, and once you do that, they'll be like, oh, hey, cool, you've got a cool profile, I'll come follow you. But also they'll just be much more likely to care about you because you cared about them first. Along with that, you know, I'm so not a social media expert. Blogging and YouTube is much more my thing, but I will say that I have been making an extra effort to really go and talk to people and engage with people on Instagram specifically. And sometimes I go to profiles with the intent to comment on someone's post, and I can't find anything to comment on. Like, I'm literally looking for something to comment on, and either the posts are old or there's just like nothing good for me to say because they're kind of awkward. So especially if you're posting maybe like thumbnails of your products and stuff like that, that might be your case. If you're posting like just the pictures of your product, be like, hey, look, new product, then it's gonna be a lot harder for people to interact with you and engage with you. So make sure that your descriptions have questions, that you tell a story, and that your pictures are fun and inviting so that people will want to come and look at your profile. Again, I'm not a social media expert, but those are a couple of things that I have noticed. And specifically, I've been going to a lot of your Instagram profiles to talk to you, and I have run into that in some of your profiles. So make sure that, you know, again, people will want to comment that your feed looks aesthetically pleasing and just all that stuff, specifically for Instagram. But same on Twitter. If you sell all the time, then people are going to be really annoyed. A way that you can get away with not selling all the time is gonna be my number 4. Yep. And that is your email list. We talk a lot about email lists in my Level Up Your Teacher Business Level Up Your Teacher Business book and course, which I will link down below in case you're interested in that. But email lists are so good for driving traffic. Let's tally this up too. That'll be fun. All right, since we're tallying up traffic sources, I did want to mention that my email list made me $1,147.16 in the month of March. So now I will say I do have quite a few email subscribers. I think I was either at 4,000 or 5,000 in March. I just gained like a bunch in the last couple of weeks, so I'm not sure quite where I was, but still, that's a lot of money. And that has been, you know, cultivating relationships over years. Email lists are probably, well, definitely the best way to increase your traffic, because obviously I just told you all the numbers and that was the highest. But the problem with email lists is that it's not the end all be all. You can't just have an email list and someone like search for it like they can on a blog or YouTube. You can't use a hashtag like you can on Instagram and find someone. So on your email list, you will also need to drive traffic to your email list just like you need to do to your store. The reason I did want to include it is, one, because it is so powerful, and I have been telling you this and telling you this and drilling it into your heads, and I still have people who are like, yeah, well, I haven't started my email list, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you're missing out, because the sooner you start, the more emails you will get. But also, it is a really good way to kind of market on social media or on Pinterest or on your blog or on your YouTube without being as salesy. Typically, when you have an email list, you will have something that people get in return. So for example, a couple of ways you can join my TPT sellers email list. You can sign up for either the blogging or the YouTube how to get started guides, which you can get the link down below. Those are like email courses. I have a webinar about creating online resources. I will link that below. I have a getting started on TPT checklist, and I also have a roadmap to your first $1,000 on TPT. Those are both PDFs. Those are all ways you can join my email list. When you click the link, you put in your email. I give you whichever one of those that you asked for. And it's a really good way for me to get your email. It's a win-win, because you're getting something great out of it and I'm getting your email, and then I can potentially sell to you later. That sounds bad. I promise most of my emails for this email list is just like, hey, new video. Hey, new video. Here's a funny story. Hey, new video. But anyway, my point being that this is so much easier to market on social media and on your blog and your YouTube, but especially on social media, because it's not as salesy. You're not like, hey, I want you to go and spend a bunch of money. Or even, hey, I want you to go and spend $3. But instead, the language is, hey, I have this free resource. You've got to get it. Click the link in my bio to grab it. This is powerful because, one, you'll be more inclined to share it because it's free. Two, people will not mind hearing about it as much because it's free, so they're not like irritated by being sold to all the time. And three, it comes across as just providing value. People are like, oh my gosh, you did such a good thing. Thank you so much. That was so great. And then they are excited for new things, especially if you have maybe like something that's similar to one of your product lines. You can give to someone, and then when you talk about your product line, they're gonna be like, oh, hey, that one resource I used was super cool. I want to use that one too because it was really great. So that is a really great way that you can use your email. It does take some time to build up, and again, you can't search for an email list, so it does need traffic of its own, but I did want to include it because it is so powerful. I will leave some links to our YouTube playlist down below, so I will leave a link to our email playlist so you can check out all of that info down below about like how to get started, how to make a landing page, how to do all that good stuff. So you will be set. So the last way that we are talking about traffic is probably the first one that popped into your mind, and that is ads. So you can totally pay for ads to go to your TPT shop. You can also pay for ads indirectly that go to your blog post or to your YouTube channel or even to your email list. That is a proven way to get traffic because it's literally traffic that's going in there. Now, honestly, as of this point, I haven't experimented too much with ads. I've done a couple, but I didn't really know what I was doing, and so I decided to turn them off until I felt like I had the time to really research what I was going to do. So my suggestion to you is, if you want to do ads, I would pick one platform, so either Facebook or Instagram or Google ads. You can get Google ads, yeah, that's a thing. Or you can do YouTube ads, or you could do Pinterest ads, but pick one and really research and make sure that you understand the platform and how to get the most out of it before you do it. Because the last thing I want for you to do is just to like throw money at it and then not make any money back. But that being said, you can totally use ads, and that is a proven way to get traffic, because the traffic will just flow right on in because you're paying for it. A successful ad is an ad that makes you more money than you spend on it. So if you can put in $1 and you can sell a $3 resource, then you're gaining $2, and that is a huge win. That's definitely the most proven and the fastest way to drive traffic to your store. So if for some reason you were like, I need money like this week, then that is something you could do. But again, do your research, make sure that you know what you're doing before you go and jump in, because I don't want you to lose a bunch of money doing ads and not quite understanding them. All right, friends, so that is 5 different ways to drive traffic to your resources. Again, driving traffic to your resources is one of the 3 ways that you can sell more resources and therefore make more money. If you're interested in learning more about this topic, I would highly recommend you check out either the needle moving tactics video, where we talk about what you should do like right now in your business, or you can check out the 7 reasons you're not making sales in your business. So if you're kind of like, I don't know what's wrong with me, that's where I would go. Thank you so much for watching this video. I would love to know your opinions down below. Which one of these is your favorite? Is it ads? Is it social media? Is it blogging? Is it YouTube? Like, let me know down below. I love to hear your comments. Also, I love to see who made it to the end of the video. So let me know in the comments, and I will see you guys next time. Bye. Someone's gonna get fuss at me for cutting my head off.